You realize that we're in the minority.
Are we really?
I think we're in the minority. I think everyone wants Drake to squash Kendrick.
Why?
Like, I mean, what does your girlfriend think? I bet your girlfriend's on Drake's side.
Nah, my girlfriend doesn't really even care for Drake. But I be talking to her about it. She just listens to me like ramble all fucking day. I'm like, do you hear my fucking Drake? Like,
welcome back to the Shoe Tale Podcast. My name is Martin Depict. I'm a photographer, videographer, graphic designer from Los Angeles. Today, I have my buddy Austin on the podcast. This is a big deal because it's my first guest on the podcast. We've tried to do this podcast before, by the way, I think last year, and it didn't work out. I got too in my head about it back when I was too in my head about everything.
You should insert the bit where it's like, open up TikTok and see how long it takes. Actually, don't do that.
Yeah, you'll get in trouble.
My girlfriend ain't never gonna see this. Okay, sorry.
No, but I think at the beginning of the year, I sort of started this year with this goal of doing this podcast and doing Shoot to Ill, and things as of lately have sort of shifted, and I'll sort of like give everyone an update on my Patreon a little bit later. But with the podcast, I think I want to stay pretty consistent with it. I missed one episode, which last week was the only episode I didn't upload, and that's because I was at Coachella having fun, and I think catching up on a lot of work after my work trip. So, you know, I want to give myself enough freedom to do what I want to do, but then I also want to give myself enough time to do this. So I think I'm on a good path, and I think having Austin here is a good choice, is a good first guess, because I've worked with him. He's known me for a long time. I'm comfortable around him, and I think in order for me to get this podcast to that next level, I need to start being myself a little bit more, because I don't think I'm 100% myself all the time. I think I'm sort of just...
You're fake.
Rambling on about camera stuff, because I think that's just sort of like my safe space.
People like that, though. I like that.
Yeah?
Yeah. Hello? Can you hear me? Okay, I'm here. I'm sorry.
So, but a little bit about you. Obviously, I've talked about you on the Patreon before. You're a pro scooter rider, and you work at the Vault. You create a bunch of content for them. You do a bunch of content for yourself. What has changed over the last couple of years between you and content, the way you look at content?
Ooh, that's a really good question. And like, what has changed in my head?
Yeah, because like when I met you, I think you and the Vault were the biggest scooter YouTube on the internet, scooter YouTube channel on the internet, and I think that was sort of like what drew us to you guys and why we wanted to work with you guys. Obviously, because Razer needed people like you guys to sort of push their brand and make them cool again.
Damn right they did.
But the content that you guys were making was sort of, it seemed fun. It didn't seem forced. Now, like we've talked a little bit about it off like between us. Do you feel like it's more forced now?
Ooh, I think in general, yeah. I think a lot of people feel like it's forced, but the way I approach content is still that same mentality of like, if it's forced, people will tell it's like, I watch so much Netflix and stuff, and I watch like I don't know, like reality TV.
I love reality TV.
And I who doesn't?
Yeah.
But I watch it, and I hate when I can tell what is being fabricated and what's not being fabricated. You know what I mean? You can tell when somebody's not being genuine, or the thought or what they said wasn't them. And I mean, that's on the budget of a reality TV show. When we're just filming YouTube videos, I still go into it the same mentality of just have fun. Like, if you're having fun behind the camera, then what the people are going to see is you guys having fun. You know what I mean? Like, as long as everything is fun, everybody has a good time, then that's what's going to translate.
Yeah,
I don't know. I kind of just trust my intuition, where it's like, if I think it's going to be good and I think it's funny, I'm sure a lot of other people that, like, at least scooter riders and stuff that are watching the video will probably agree that it's funny. So like, it's a little bit of knowing your audience and also trusting your kind of gut instinct.
Yeah, I think that's the thing too, is that now there's so much content out there. I mean, like everything has shifted, right? Like we have this very fast-paced content now, and I think that your content when I first found you, it wasn't fast-paced. It was sort of like, let's put the scooter together. Like those are my favorite videos that you guys did, those scooter builds, because me as someone who knew nothing about scooters and the aftermarket parts and all this stuff, seeing someone put together a scooter and then and also riding one of those aftermarket scooters is insane. Like it's completely different than,
it's like satisfying.
Yeah.
Because I mean, what are some of the most like popular videos ever? It's like taking something old or beaten up and making it new, or taking something that's in a million pieces and building it. Like everybody likes to see the start to the finish and feel like they're a part of that journey.
Yeah.
I guess. And with the scooter stuff, it's the same thing. I mean, taking a bunch of scooter parts, just like a BMX bike or a skateboard, but then you're turning them into this whole thing, and it's just like bringing them along on it. And I mean, there's a lot of effort that goes into that, because you have to think about like, what are the best shots? What's going to look the best and whatnot. But we used to take the approach of like, leave in more. The videos would be longer. We just had the conversation off camera about short form content and whatnot, but we would just let the camera roll. It seemed like people liked to see more. The longer they were on the video, the more they felt like they were a part of the crew, felt like they were a part of the video, and seeing more was better.
So I think what's happening now, and I think most people that do YouTube know this, which sucks. I'm not necessarily a YouTuber, but because I'm on the platform uploading this, there's a bunch of stuff and tools and information that YouTube just throws at you.
Yeah.
And so, obviously you know this, but like when you're on the platform, there's like numbers and stuff that they're throwing at you. And right now, videos that are 40 minutes plus are doing better on the platform because more people are just letting videos play.
Yeah.
And obviously there's still those people that will or still want that shorter form content, but I'm getting less click through, or I'm getting less people click off of my videos because they're sort of this podcast format. Like they'll just let this play and maybe they're working or they're getting some work done.
I think podcasts are like the perfect example of evidence that long form video will never die, because I mean, podcasting has blown up in the last couple of years. It's like some of the most watched or listened to pieces of like video or audio in the last 10 years, probably. Like, I mean, there's so many podcasts, hours and hours. And I mean, I'm guilty of, I used to drive from Long Beach to Culver City every day to work. And I can't tell you how many times I would just like start a podcast for the whole drive there, finish the podcast on the way back or something. Yeah. And I like it. I like long form content. We just had that conversation too, but I don't know, man. Short form attention spans, but it's like a movie, right? Like the YouTube video should be taken into account, a story. You need a beginning, a middle, and an end to satisfy a viewer, especially in a long video. If they're going to be sitting there for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, like you got to keep them interested all the way through.
And I think that's the thing with podcasts or these longer form videos, because like one of the people that's doing really good on YouTube right now, I don't know his name, but there's like this really big buff guy with like long hair. Do you know who he is?
Probably like 1,000 of them, dude. I don't know.
But there's this dude. He just records he vlogs his everyday life, but his videos are like 30 plus minutes long, and people watch the whole thing. Yeah. And he's not necessarily putting a lot of effort into editing. He's not putting a lot of effort into the beginning, middle, and end of his videos.
But he's probably entertaining enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, you can kind of take it like the Casey Neistat approach. He was an interesting character enough, but then he also made sure to like focus on the story.
I think every one of his videos are masterpieces. Like I don't think he's ever deleted one. He might have deleted a few that he maybe wasn't happy with.
But even his videos 10 years ago, it's funny how you can see the similarities in the way he approaches his videos now, same exact way then. Like he was just ahead of the curve.
He's stuck with that style and sort of created this sort of vlogging lifestyle that I think a lot of people wanted to do. Yeah. And the sort of the vlogging challenge that he put himself through, like he recorded himself for, what was it, like 600 something days, like almost 3 years. Like,
and his family suffered.
He suffered. I think there was a lot, but it was but when you put yourself through that and you're putting content like at the top of your list every day, I think everything else suffers, but the content, like the story that you're making, has to be great, right? Like,
Well, and especially when I feel like you're making, he's talked about it too. Like, I think he talked about how like the first like year he was doing YouTube, he never had monetization on.
yep.
And he finally decided to turn it on and was like, oh, first month came in. I was like, oh, okay. Second month came in. I was like, holy shit. Third month came in. I was like, what the fuck? Like, and I feel like as soon, that's the thing that sucks. We can all agree. The second you see the dollar signs, you go from like wanting to make like genuine real content to thinking of like, okay, what's going to make me the most money, right? Like,
Yeah.
but I don't feel like Casey ever compromised. He stayed himself. He made the same content. As I guess he made more money, more opportunities came, but he just utilized those opportunities for his vlog, where he was like, oh, I'm going to do the same exact thing, but maybe I'm in a helicopter today, or maybe I'm with Sony today, or maybe I'm doing something with Samsung today. But it was like same stuff. It was the same. You still got him at home. You still got him in his office. You still got him on a skateboard.
Yeah.
You always knew what you were going to get, but you also never knew what you were going to get. So it was always like, it was nice. It was comforting, but also kept you on your toes.
So right now, I think I'm in a similar place. So like he sort of was able to transition into like the evolution of his channel went from him not making money to him making money, and him keeping the same rhythm of his content going.
Yeah.
With me right now, there was like this rhythm of me posting 3 times a day on Instagram as a photographer, like back in 2015, 16, 17, 18, posting that much, and then figuring out that like I need to start making more money. So like being more selective with clients and all this stuff. So then I was shooting less, posting less, and everything sort of transitioned. Now, everything that I'm shooting, I can't show online, or it's content that I give the rights to the person that I'm shooting, because it's more private content, obviously for like OnlyFans and stuff, and they, you know, they should own the rights to those type of images, because if not, any photographer can sort of take advantage of them, or, you know, it sucks. I've heard horror stories of women shooting with photographers, and then those photographers selling those images overseas or using them on like another private Patreon account. It's not the best sort of situation.
Sketch.
Yeah, super sketchy.
But I feel like I don't know, maybe some of the people can agree. I feel like you were on that grind because you were hungry. You know, you were like chasing down this dream of becoming like an established photographer. So you needed the exposure. You needed to get your work out there. But I feel like there's no shame in reaching a point. What's up? What's up? I was in the middle of talking. You want to do the podcast? You should use him for the next guest, bro.
She loves to talk.
She would be an amazing podcast host. Mm-hmm. But I was going to say there's no shame in, I think, taking a step back from having to push that hard once you have already established yourself. Yeah. Like once your name has already gone through enough people's ears, you've worked with enough people, I don't really feel like there's the need to like continuously prove yourself. I don't think there's any shame in posting up your work, keeping your fans or people that want to see updated with like your work. But I don't think you should have the mentality of like, I feel like I should be doing this because I'm losing out. I just think you've reached a point in your career where people know you enough, and like the people you work with know you enough, where it's spreading word of mouth enough to like, unless you kind of want to take it to like the next level. But
so here's the thing is that like I'm forging my own path here. You know, like photographers before me needed to have mentors. They needed to work in the studio and sort of like put in all these hours. I never had that. I never had a mentor or someone above me. All I really had was sort of like, I went to school for photography, and then it was YouTube Academy the rest of the way.
Amen to that.
So all this stuff that I've learned over the years, I've gotten to do work in multiple facets of photography: shooting food, shooting products, shooting models, shooting landscape, shooting cars, everything and everything. I've shot like product photos of like all natural tampons.
Yeah.
You know?
Fire. Did it pay well? Did it pay well?
But all this work that I've taken on, I've sort of realized that I need to keep myself and my own creativity sort of like it needs to be fed.
Yeah.
And so what the whole point of Shoot to Ill is me trying to feed this my creativity, because all these other projects, although sometimes the projects that I do feed my creativity and I do like shooting, like I love shooting models. I think it's sort of what I'm good at. I think it's what I'm known for. But I want to show people that I'm much more than that.
When
And
you want to
so-
challenge yourself.
yeah. So like the first issue that I did with you,
Mm-hmm.
it was like I want to show people that I was like, hey, like, you know, I've shot males before. Like I've worked with Jason Derulo, and like I wanted to prove that like if I get thrown in the studio with someone,
Yeah.
I can come out with fucking dope ass photos. And I think that our photos are fucking sick. Like
Haven't seen them. Wouldn't know, you know? No, I'm just kidding. But I feel like it would be pure ignorance for anybody to see somebody so established as a photographer, right? Like it doesn't matter if you shoot models. It doesn't matter if you shoot sunglasses. It doesn't matter if you shoot tampons. You're a photographer.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's pure ignorance to assume that just because you only shoot specific things, you're not capable of shooting X, Y, or Z. And I mean, I guess I can say that from experience because I get thrown. I don't have that much photo experience, but I'll challenge myself to shooting other stuff. Like I don't shoot portrait photography. I don't shoot people that often, you know, in like a portrait studio setting. I shoot people outside more often.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
a lot easier to work with natural light. But I like the challenge, and I always surprise myself because I'm like, oh, that wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. You know, because you take all your common sense and knowledge of shooting photos and it's just applying it to a different subject or a different thing. So I don't know. If anybody ever came to you and said that, I'd be like, you're just ignorant. Like,
no,
like,
I appreciate that, but I think I don't think people actually think that. I think what happens is that I've gained my audience shooting models, and most of my audience that I've gained is through, you know, just posting and sharing the photos that I did with these models, and those models sharing my work. So
Yeah.
a lot of the audience that I have now, I've never purchased followers. I've never, you know, have bought into that sort of scheme.
missed out, bro. How do you think I got mine?
But I do think that the followers that I do have that still haven't unfollowed me, they're
Yeah.
sort of left over from that time. And I think I'm in this mindset now of like, I want people to I want the people who follow me to actually want to fuck with me. Cause I don't want people to feel like I'm leaving them hanging or feel like I'm not giving them enough. Cause to be honest, I don't know exactly what I'm doing yet personally, creativity. Like I'm in a very great professional place right now in my life. And I didn't know that I can get to this place professionally. To have like a home office like this, to have, you know, a setup and work from home every day,
And a great friend.
a great friends, and to just sort of like have the life of being able to work in what I love,
Yeah.
and make enough money to live is like a great feeling. And I think so much of us out there are trying to just get to this point.
Yeah. But until you see somebody that's doing it,
Yeah.
it's hard to like understand. Cause I know that feeling too. I mean, when I got hired at the vault, you know, just like a scooter kid. And when I finally got hired as a scooter kid at a scooter shop,
Yeah.
you immediately realize the difference. You know, you always hear like, oh, you don't work a day of your life if you work in like, if you do something that you love. And those are all true. But until like you truly do clock in every day and work in something that you actually are interested in and you have interest in, it's wild. Cause like I remember waking up excited to go to work.
Yeah.
Like I was like excited because I was like, I get to build scooters all day for a living. Like $12 an hour. Like who would have thought this is where I'd be? Like, but it's when I was also so much more young and naive, but just the idea of it was amazing. You know what I mean? And I'm sure for you, it's like the second you were paying your bills, taking photos, you were like, I did it. Like I'm here. Like you still have so much more to climb, but like you reach that threshold where you can finally like say like fuck what everybody else said.
Yeah.
There is no like if I'm gonna do this, like I have done it, and now it's just up to you to like climb higher.
Yeah.
Like, and you did it, obviously.
Yeah, I think at a certain point though, because I've sort of made my own path, I don't know where I'm going at this point. I don't like all I know is that I have to keep swimming forward.
I don't think you should worry about it. I think as long as you keep working and you stay up on your skills, I don't think it'll worry.
Yeah. Are you charging me for this session?
Of course I am. I got my timer going right now. How are we at? No, but I feel like I get where you're coming from, but I feel like it's one of those things where you'll probably look back in like 10 years and be like, why was I even stressing?
Yeah, I feel like that now.
Like think back to your mentality 10 years ago and think about your mentality now.
Yeah, yeah.
You didn't know what you were going to do then, but look where you are now.
I think that the only thing that has changed from then to now is just the amount of stupid shit that I worry about.
That you were going to say your bank account.
The stupid amount of money in my bank account.
The only thing that has changed from 10 years ago to now is my bank account.
I have a Swiss bank account.
Just kidding. But no, I think I get it because I can feel that in scootering. You know what I mean? I mean, photography is a way more professional field regardless. And to be like a 26-year-old and be like, oh, I work at a scooter shop.
Yeah, yeah.
You can easily get into your head where you're like, oh, shit, like, is this what I want to be doing like my whole life?
Yeah.
But then I pull back and I'm like, you got me so fucked up. Like, there's people that are working in terrible jobs, like terrible jobs. And I'm not one of those people.
Yeah.
So why am I even like worrying about where I'm going to go? I just need to like enjoy now.
I mean, shifting focus to you.
Talk about me. I like to talk about me.
Yeah.
Me.
So with you when you got hired at the Vault, obviously, was it just like a sales associate?
Yeah, I was just I guess for the people who don't know, I guess I'll give a brief thing. I work at a scooter shop, very similar to a skate shop. You know, you go to a skate shop, buy skateboard, all the things for a skateboard, clothes, all that stuff. Same thing exists for scootering. And I work at one of those shops. And when I got hired, I just was, I helped on the weekends selling stuff in the front of the store. And then I worked in the back packing up all the orders and stuff and climbed the food chain to where I am now. But I was hyped then, and I'm hyped now. But I wish I could go back to being like 19 and just like, I work at the scooter shop. Like, I don't know. It's just crazy.
I think my fascination with your story there is the fact that, like anything else, you found a way to maneuver yourself to this sort of like content creation portion or part of the company, to where like you're not just selling scooter parts now. You're now like in the back taking photos of all the products for e-com. Mm-hmm. You're editing the photos that go on the Instagram. You're doing all this stuff creatively.
Yeah.
I think like over these last couple of years, because I think just from when I met you to now, your skill level has definitely increased.
That makes me happy. Thank you.
So like,
thank you, Martin.
So like, I mean, like, do you look at other product photos to like try to see like what you can do better for yours? Like,
absolutely.
What are your inspirations when it comes to that kind of stuff?
Well, so the thing with photography is that I was never a photographer. Like I grew up with an uncle, and one of his first jobs actually out here in LA was he worked at a photo lab. And growing up, he worked at a photo lab. He had like a red room in his house. Like, you know, like he was really, really into photos. So photography was always kind of like in my head. Mm-hmm. And then, believe it or not, guys, didn't get my first phone with a camera on it until like 15 or something. You know, like an iPod Touch came out with cameras on it, and it was like revolutionary. And then I started to take a lot of pictures. And at that point, Instagram was only pictures. Yeah, you know. And I always liked to take pictures. I don't know why. I could, if I looked at my Instagram before I archived like everything, all my you remember on Instagram you used to like frame your pictures with like borders so it all looks like symmetrical in the feed. Yep. I look back at all these like iPhone and iPod taken pictures, and I'm like, it's cool to see that I was always interested in it. So then you fast forward all the way to me working at the Vault. At that point, still wasn't into I was into photography, but I didn't have a camera. I didn't know how to use a camera. I didn't know what to do. Like, I always was into it, and I liked having my picture taken and be around it, but I was never the one to do it. And to be honest, that just came from seeing an opportunity and having the interest and being willing to like take it. So one day, we were paying a product photographer. My boss was paying this girl like $120 an hour to show up and just shoot products on a white background. And she's sitting there. She's really cool. I'm not gonna say her name. She was really cool. I like her. But as I'm sitting there and I'm doing like all the work, I'm sitting there like organizing all the product. I'm putting it in a frame, and all she is doing is sitting there next to a laptop and forgot what program it was, and just ready, click, shoot. Next product. Ready, click, shoot. Next product. Ready, click, shoot. And I'm like, you got me so fucked up. She's making $120 an hour right now. I'm making $12 an hour. You got me so fucked up. So that was, it also comes from working for somebody who's willing to like let you.
Yeah.
And at my work, my boss was always really cool. He was like, you can use our cameras, you can use our equipment after hours, but like you're responsible for it. So you want to go use the camera to film or whatever, do it. We don't care. But if you break it, you're responsible.
Yeah.
So one day I stayed late and I was like, I could fucking do this shit. So I grabbed like 6 products, went across the street to our studio, and I didn't know what shutter speed was. I didn't know what aperture was. I didn't know what my ISO was. I didn't know anything about a camera. I didn't know how to toggle a flash. I didn't know how to, like, it's all these Elinchrom flashes and stuff. And I'm like tripping. I'm on FaceTime with my friend Webby, and I'm like, what should I set the camera to? And he ends up like helping me. So I end up like taking a couple pictures. I get them whited out, and then I showed them to my boss. And I'm like, who shot these? Me or that was, oh, fuck. I exposed her name. I'm like, who shot these? Me or the photographer?
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know, the photographer. I was like, I shot these. Me. And then from that point on, I shot all the product photography, and I got a pay raise for it. And that was like right when it started to like show me, I was like, oh, if I take the step, I mean, I might not necessarily get the opportunity, but that step allowed me to understand how to work a camera. It was just the beginning. It opened the door. And then after that, it's like opportunity just came. It was like, oh, I could shoot more and more product. And, you know, as you shoot more and more stuff, you get better at it.
Yeah.
You learn from your mistakes. You start watching YouTube videos on how to properly light things. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've called you and been like, I got this really reflective thing. How do I bounce the light? I can't get the chrome to look good. Like, and it just takes like practice and like learning how to overcome them. But I feel like that's more so common sense, you know? But it's true. It's like, if you want to get good at it, you have to just do it.
Yeah.
You have to just spend time. And then you just explore other things. You know, my friend wanted a picture outside, start shooting some outdoorsy stuff. Then I got past the opportunity for all of our like Instagram pictures, you know, oh, new product come in, can take a picture of it so we can post it.
Yeah.
So then you start exploring how to shoot outside and work with your elements. And it's just fun. I always liked it. I think you have to have some interest in photography, but I liked it. And I still am like, I can't believe I'm getting paid to do this. Like, I don't make much, but it's cool to like know like, oh, I get to go spend 3 hours today and like walk around Inglewood and take pictures of scooter products. Like, I don't know. It's cool. But to answer your question, yeah, you have to, I hate to say it, but you have to be inspired by other people's work.
Yeah.
Like whether it's Photoshop stuff or anything creative, unless you're just like sitting there on acid all day, going crazy with creativity, you need to feel inspired by something. Yeah. Something has to get you going, and then you can take it from there and make it your own. So I'm always looking at other people's stuff. I see stuff on Instagram and I'm like, that's sick. And then it's like Martin Depict liked also. And I'm like, yep, he gets it. He knows, dude. He gets it.
Dude, I mean, I applaud your initiative, and I applaud Nick for giving you the opportunity, you know?
Yeah, and I will say that's a big thing is I work for somebody who is willing to let their employees take the risks and see if they were like capable of doing stuff. A lot of other companies probably won't do that. Mm-hmm. So always work for like a personal owned business and not a corporate business if you can. I mean, I'm sure you have experience with working with corporate companies and they're a little bit more.
Well, Vulcan was corporate, and that's where I made my first photography check.
And you told me they were pretty good with it, right? They were pretty cool with letting you kind of do what you wanted to do.
Not necessarily letting me do what I wanted to do, but they gave me the opportunity when they didn't have someone to shoot something, you know, I was sort of there and I raised my hand.
That's what it takes, right? It's being that guy. And I mean, in my case, it was like scootering, skateboarding, all action sports. It's up and down. You know, like summer is our busiest time. Winter, it kind of slows down, and then it picks back up for Christmas.
Yeah.
And at that point in time, it had slowed down enough, so my boss didn't justify spending $120 an hour on this photographer. So I saw it as an opening where I was like, we're still getting new product. our website, the look of our website is dependent on how good everything looks. Like if we're the biggest shop, we need to have the best photos. And in our case, a lot of companies don't even shoot their own products, or if they do shoot their own products, it's terrible.
Yeah.
So there's a big quality jump in my case. So I was like, all right, we're the vault, we're the shit. We need the best photos. He can't afford $120 an hour right now for this dude, so I'll just do it.
Yeah.
And like you said, I put my fucking hand up and I took it and it paid off. And I mean, you might get shut down, but if you don't raise your hand, man, what's that quote? You miss 100% of the shots. You don't
take.
But it's like, it's a fact. You have to. You can apply that to like asking girls out, or you can apply that to like any opportunity in life.
Yeah.
Like you have no idea what's gonna happen until you try it.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. And I think that I have so much ideas for you and Nick, because with you just saying that like all these scooter companies out there, right? Like obviously when you're a small company, I think content sort of comes last.
Yeah.
So you're not necessarily thinking about how to best show your product, how to promote your product. You and the vault are in a very great space to be able to sort of like utilize and sell your content, or even be looked at as like a studio of some sorts.
100%. We set the bar. I mean, scootering is just one of those niches where the quality of a lot of stuff is significantly lower than, most. Like in skateboarding, you can tell a lot of these brands, they have corporate money. They put in a lot of work. They have a bigger budget. In scootering, we don't have that. So it's a lot of personal money. Like the brand needs photos, they're going to have to pay a photographer to do it. There's not a lot of brands that are like building up a photo studio in their office or something.
Yeah.
And it feels really good because I've had so many brands hit me up and they're like, did you shoot this? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, fuck, you shoot better photos than like any of our shit. And I'm like, but it shows you how it can open up more doors. Because then as I did that, I've shot photos for a couple other scooter brands and I've made money just been shooting their stuff. And that also comes down to having a boss that's cool enough to let you shoot other companies' products in his studio. But like, it's all for the benefit of him at the end of the day. Because if I shoot this company's stuff before it comes out, Nick knows that he'll have the photos before anybody. So it's like a win-win. His site will have the best photos, and then the brand also wins, and I made money. So it's like, but if I never raised my hand, it would have never happened. I'm telling you, bro. Do it. Raise your hand. Don't be afraid. Take risks. That's what it should be, is take risks. So many people are not risk takers.
So where do you want to go from here with your content?
I have no idea.
Or with your photography?
I have no idea. I'm just going to continue to, I don't know. I'm definitely like I didn't know what I was going to do before I got to this point and I made it here. So all I'm going to do is kind of just take everything that I've learned and just hope that it takes me further. I'm not going to stop progressing. I'm not going to stop sharpening my skills. I'm not going to stop trying to get better, but I'm just more so like preparing myself for as soon as that next opportunity comes for me to step up and raise my hand, I'm fucking ready for it. Cause like, what if a couple of years from now, I get an opportunity to work for like some big company and they need somebody with e-commerce experience, photo experience, capable of talking on camera. Like I could be that guy, but I just need to prepare myself for when that opportunity comes.
Yeah.
Or if I end up hating my job in the next couple of years, then I'll figure something else. But I like going to work still. So like, I don't know. I don't really worry too much about the future personally.
Yeah,
I think it's
jealous.
because of how my upbringing was.
Yeah.
Like my upbringing was so inconsistent and sporadic that now as an adult, I'm kind of okay with not looking too deep into the future. I'm more so just living in the now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what tomorrow's gonna hold, and I already forgot about yesterday. I'm just like, today I'm doing a podcast with Martin. It's been 6 so far. I don't know. Go to work tomorrow. I don't know.
No, it's dope, man. I'm fucking jealous because I think now that I'm here, I'm constantly looking at what I want to do next. And there's so many things. With that comes so many failures that come with it because you try so many things.
Yeah.
You try to, I've tried to launch an app, like a social platform for photographers. Didn't do well. I've tried, selling merch with models. Didn't do well. I've tried, I've tried so many things that just have sort of fallen apart. And
why don't you do like some series with these people, with the fans and their actions? You know how Peter McKinnon did that series where he edited other people's photos?
yeah,
why don't you do something like that? Let people send you their photos and you walk them through how you would color them and correct them or like stuff like that. Because I don't know. I feel like if whatever you can do, if you can make people like relate and feel like they interact with you, that's what's going to help the most. That's what makes people feel like they rock with you, right?
I mean, I agree with that. At the end, so many of the reason why I haven't done that is because it's already been done before. So I sort of like, I hold myself back and thinking that like, well, I don't want to come off like as someone who's copying this person or doing this, like.
Yeah, but at the same time, like somebody's done everything.
True.
You know what I mean? Like there's still a million photographers that are taking pictures that have no guidance on where to go, or maybe they think their photos are terrible, but they don't know how to properly color them and bring out everything that they need to bring out. And I feel like most people just want to meet somebody who is very relatable to them, somebody who feels like you are just like them, but you've just made it into something. You know what I mean? And I could tell you, talking to these people, is that you're no different than like I feel like you would have been 10 years ago, 20 years ago. You know what I mean? The same person. You've just found success in your business, and like that's perfect. But I feel like people just want to relate, interact. I like that stuff. We just did a series where we reacted to kids' clips, whether it was a good clip or a bad clip. If you submitted it, we reacted to it, and immediately the feedback was so much and higher than like everything else because they were immediately involved. Their clip got involved. It wasn't the most insane clip. It was just some basic stuff, but they still got their shine and they loved it. So
yeah, when we were doing the Razor stuff, it like being as someone who wasn't a scooter rider, obviously like I owned a Razor when I was a kid, but it was like it wasn't, I was never like sort of like a diehard fan or anything like that.
I don't think anybody's a diehard Razor fan. I think people are like, I had one of those as a kid.
Yeah.
My ankle hurt.
Yeah, my shin hurts.
Yeah.
But it was nice to sort of get the opportunity and create content because like we did a lot of crazy shit for that channel. Like all the how-tos, I think those are still getting pretty decent views on YouTube. Like the dodgeball video, all these crazy videos that we did. Some of them were the ones that seemed more fun. Yeah. Like the flower video that you and Walter did.
That was the drift trike one. That was fun.
That one is the highest viewed video.
Yeah.
Besides the one where what's his name jumps out of the helicopter.
But ours was real.
Yeah.
Ours was real interactions. It wasn't fabricated interactions. It wasn't something. That's what I mean. Like it was literally me and my friend.
Yeah.
Drifting a Razor drift trike, and if one missed, whoever lost had to take like a handful of flour to the face. Like the stakes weren't high, the content wasn't that crazy. It was just two dudes having fun.
Yeah.
And like if that is performing, not comparable to the fucking skydive video, but the fact that this dude is backflipping off of a ramp, falling out of the sky, and like that took so much more to get to that point than this like just goofy fun video of like two dudes in a parking lot. Like that shows you that like people just want to have fun, man. People just want to relate. I don't think people necessarily just want to see something that they know they can't do. People want spectacular things or spectacle, but like you can't have everything be spectacle. Like everything needs to be in reach of people, and like anybody could buy a Razor drift trike, take it down to a beach parking lot and drift and throw flour at their friends, just like we did. There's nothing stopping them.
Yeah.
And that's what is special. Same thing with like all of the Razor stuff. Some of the favorite shoots of mine were the ones where like we just loaded up the car, drove up into like the mountains. The one day where we did the off-road scooter, it was it was like, all right, here's this off-road scooter. Just go like dip down these trails and like I'll film you and like we get paid. And we got paid and the video was sick. Like it showed the scooter in its element. It showed how it could be used, but it was fun. And I think people could relate to it.
I like the Christmas videos.
Christmas videos were fun too.
Like giving away just a bunch of shit to kids. Like, I didn't know how parents would react, just like, cause
see, I have experience with that where you don't have experience with it. I've seen how parents react and everybody loves free stuff. Nobody says no to free stuff. And I think it does take a certain person to be able to like warm parents up to it. And I mean, I was okay with it, but there's some people that aren't good with it. It's just knowing how to approach a parent. If you're going to approach like, in our case, a 7-year-old little girl on a playground, you have to know what you're doing. You have to know how to approach it right. and make it feel special to these people. And it's the best feeling. I mean, I'm sure you could feel it too. When you see like the joy, like Razer just sends us like a truckload of stuff and they're like, use this for videos, give it out, utilize it. It doesn't feel like it's anything special to us. But then you give like this little girl like a Barbie electric little scooter thing or whatever it was that we gave her. And she is so lit up and her family is so lit because they didn't know how they were ever going to buy her something like that. Yeah. And then we're like, we're getting paid to do this. Yeah. Like it's like an opportunity where it helps you grow as like a human being, but then you're doing it for work. It's very wild. It makes you like, I don't know, value that kind of stuff more.
Yeah. I mean, in some cases, I think some people on the internet see that kind of content as like, oh, you're just using people to get views. And it's not that at all. I think it was because we have a bunch of shit to give out anyway, so we're just kind of like, let's just go out and record it.
Well, and it's the time of the year. It's Christmas time. There is a lot of people who have money, but there's a lot of people who don't have money. I grew up where Christmases were hit or miss. Maybe one year we had an amazing Christmas. Next year we might not have a tree and there's no presents. Next year it's an okay Christmas. You just never knew. And there's a lot of kids that are going to wake up on Christmas and not have anything. And there's a lot of kids that are going to wake up and have everything. So people can hate. There's always going to be hate. But at the end of the day, nothing was fabricated. None of those people were scripted. None of those people were found ahead of time. It was 100% us showing up to a park and chasing down and trying to find people to give stuff to and getting their like genuine reactions. So people can hate, but it felt good.
You have an incredible mindset, dude. Like that, and that's something I think I remember telling you, don't change, because the mindset that you have is pretty insane. Like you just staying positive through adversity, keeping sort of like this mentality of like being here in the present is very important. Shit that I have to learn, So it's like it's dope that you're sort of like already in this sort of like healthy mindset, I guess.
I mean, like I have my days. Everybody has their days.
Yeah, of course.
But at the end of the day, I don't know. Tomorrow could be my last day here. I have no idea. So it's like, why am I gonna stress out about money or stress out about what tomorrow's gonna hold? And I don't even know if tomorrow's promised. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't expect to make it this far. So like, I'm just here. Like, I'm not gonna get behind my whole upbringing, but like, I'm here, and I didn't expect to be here. I we've talked. I followed you on Instagram as a kid because I was a fan of like the models that you were shooting. But like, you know what I mean? Like, I knew who you were prior to us working together. So to now be like sitting in your house doing a podcast with you, I'm like, fuck.
I appreciate that.
It all works out, man.
So now let's talk about music, because if you guys don't know, the people who know most about music are the people who are behind the desk editing photos for 10 hours a day.
Yeah, it's when you get excited that somebody dropped an album, because you're just gonna get to like play the whole album from beginning to end like 4 different times that day. And like, I don't know, it's special. If you guys don't like music, I don't know what's going on. But we're gonna talk about some rap. We're gonna talk about some beef.
All right, tell me, because there's so much has happened in this last couple of weeks. So we had the Kendrick Like That verse. We're Kendrick fans. Then Drake responded.
You see this? You can't see it. You can't see it.
Oh, the Hush Puppies?
Yeah.
All right, so we had...
I was trying to show my tattoo.
Kendrick dropped the Like That verse. Mm-hmm. Then Cole responded with the 7-minute drill. Then he backed out and sort of apologized for that.
He didn't sort of apologize.
He apologized. And then Drake put out push-ups.
And then now
he put out this AI track that he posted on his Instagram just 2 days ago. Oh, and then Kanye dropped a Like That remix yesterday.
There's a whole lot of beef, man. There's a whole lot of beef. Hopefully you guys can like relate. I mean, I'm sure you guys, there's no way people aren't. Somebody here is a Drake fan, somebody here is a Kendrick fan, somebody here is a J. Cole fan. There's no way. Yeah. But what side are you on? We need to find out if you guys are on the right side. That's what we're trying to say right now. We're trying to figure out what side, because me and Martin are diehard Kendrick fans.
Yeah.
And everybody on the internet is just like a Drake fan. And it blows me away. Because I'm a Drake fan. I know you're a Drake fan.
Yeah.
Everybody is a Drake fan. But this is a rap beef.
Yeah.
This is a bar for bar on wax beef. And Kendrick is the GOAT.
Yeah, and I think every time that Drake has gotten into these scuffles, He definitely won the beef with Meek Mill.
Yeah,
That one
100%.
was one that he won straight up.
Pusha T though.
Pusha T was one that people had to get involved to end it because it was getting too serious. And that was kind of crazy to me because when Jay Prince got involved and sort of like squashed the beef, like Pusha T put out, what is it, the story of Adidon, and that was sort
Border
of like
Patrol, bro.
yeah.
Yeah, that was wild. I wasn't even really like into the beef at that point, but I remember listening to Pusha T's verse, just like everybody.
Yeah.
I was like, what did he just say? Like, what? And even then, I don't know. Maybe it's like, we've all seen 8 Mile. We all know rap battles and stuff like that. I know you're supposed to clown, you're supposed to talk shit, but I feel like Drake is just, maybe it's like mainstream rap beef where they're like, oh, we just got to talk a lot of shit. We got to pull out the dirt. We got to like expose that you have a kid. We got to expose like affairs. We had to expose X, Y, and Z. And in my head, I'm like, is that what this is about?
No. So what had happened with the Pusha T stuff was that Drake mentioned
Push's wife.
Push's
right?
wife, and then that was the point where Pusha was like, all bets are off.
But that's what I mean. I feel like Drake has this tendency of like, oh, this is a rap beef. It's all about,
Yeah. And now just like that, he mentioned Kendrick's wife.
which I'm pissed about, bro. Leave Whitney alone. Leave her out of this, bro. You don't want it. Like, you don't want Kendrick smoke, bro. That boy is gonna protect his wife, bro. Like,
Yeah.
it's gonna be some Eminem and Haley shit, bro. Like,
Oh man.
like you mentioned her name, I'm going to bury you. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I'm interested to see what Kendrick does. As of this point, he hasn't put out a response yet, but I know that he's probably cooking up something crazy. But the thing is that
100%.
when he does release it, the Drake fans are not gonna.
no, they're just gonna tell your watch, shut the fuck up. No, they're just gonna like, I don't know. They're gonna be like, oh, Drake's verse is better.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. Like, I thought Drake's response was great. Like, it intensified the heat.
Yeah.
He may have said some things that I don't think he needed to say, but that's fine. It's a rap beef. But I'm really itching to see what Kendrick is gonna say, because people are questioning whether he's gonna like respond. I'm like, bro, there's no question he is gonna respond.
Yeah.
He initiated it. It's gonna come. Like, just give it time.
Did he initiate it though?
Diddy. Damn, what if we find out Drake spent time on Diddy's parties, bro? That would be. What if Kendrick exposes Drake for being at Diddy parties? That would be like, imagine. Because I mean, if Drake can stir up shit about Kendrick, there's 1,000 times more shit Kendrick could stir up about Drake.
What do you think? All right, so on the push-ups, what do you think is the worst thing that Drake said about Kendrick? Because the short thing is that's not.
I hate it.
Those
I
are
hate
just
it.
like he's punching down. That's not necessarily fair.
Yeah, I think like.
Oh, that was a short joke. I didn't
Although
even mean
I
to do
don't
that.
agree with what Cole said, I like how Cole took the approach of critiquing his work.
Yeah.
You know, he wasn't like, how you big stepping with a size 7 beds on, like,
Yeah.
5'5", little pussy boy. Like, Cole was like, my work is better than your work. People gas up your work. It's not true, but you know what I mean. He's critiquing the work. He's keeping it about rap,
Yeah.
and that's what I wanted. And I think Kendrick was doing the same thing. Like, I think in this Like That verse, he was keeping it all rap. He didn't pull out any back pocket bullshit drama to like raise the bar. He was just like, y'all think you're number one. I'm number one.
Yeah.
Do not forget. Let's go to war. Like, let's fucking determine who's better. And I
Yeah.
think Kendrick will come out on top. There's all those videos, I know you've seen them, where like Kendrick predicted this and Kendrick predicted that, because in the Heart Part 4 he said this. But at the end of the day, it does take a lot of thought power, and like the fact that he was able to write down those bars and for them to like come true after this many years later,
Yeah.
it just shows you that like this fool is ahead of the curve. Like, just because he doesn't sit on Instagram all day doesn't mean that this fool doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
He's not tapped in. Like, I think that's what it is. Drake is so active on social media and in the world, and Kendrick isn't. People just want to side with Drake because he's the more active artist. He's the more relatable artist. He's the one that you can go watch Gamble
Yeah.
and shit. I don't
He's
know.
still being played in the clubs.
Yeah, exactly. But at the end of the day, I still stand by it. You'll never see somebody dissecting a Drake album. Drake albums will never be studied in colleges. Drake albums will never be broken down and dissected in schools. And like, there's none of that. It's none of that. So at the end of the day, even if Kendrick loses this rap battle, Kendrick's a better artist.
But that's the thing, is that I think there's hip hop and then there's art. And I think here's the two differences, is that like Drake is a great hip hop and pop artist, but Kendrick is the artist. Like everything that he's put out from Mad City to now is...
People need to stop shitting on Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. That's what needs to happen.
Man,
I don't get it. Is it his best album ever? No,
I think it just shows that people that don't like it now, I think eventually down the life, at some part in their life, they will listen to it and understand it. Because it's one of those albums that you need to be in the mindset for.
I think it takes you being a little bit older too.
Yeah.
I think if Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers came out at the time that like Damn came out, I definitely don't think I would have fucked with it as hard. I don't think I would have shit on it. I would have just been like, oh, this is a more personal album. And I can't really like relate to a lot of these things.
Yeah.
But now that I'm a little bit older, I'm like, and I've seen Kendrick's journey, you can see where he's coming from. Like, dude, he's older now. He's gone through a lot of shit and he has his own problems and he's finally venting to us about like his own problems. And I appreciate that because there's a lot of similarities. You know what I mean? I think somebody can pick a song on there and be like, I relate to at least one of these scenarios that he has probably lived through. Yeah. Whether it's the, father time with his dad just being hard. How many people grew up with daddy issues, having a dad being so on their ass and teaching them how to hide their emotions and stuff. Like that is like a worldwide problem. And he's finally like stepping up to make a song about it. But then the world wants to critique it because it's not a club song. It's not a party song. Yeah. It's like, leave that out.
Yeah. I think even the song that he did where he's arguing.
Oh, we Cry Together.
Yeah, We Cry Together. That's
not my favorite song, but I understand why it's there.
Yeah.
I understand why he made it.
Yeah.
I appreciate that he made it. I don't come from black culture. I've never had an argument like that, but I know that shit exists.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, the whole thing with Kendrick is the Hard Part 5 culture, these circles we run in, we just like, he's addressing the real issues in the world. And Drake is not addressing the world. Like, he wants to, I think I saw this thing where Drake's like, oh, Kendrick just focuses on tragedy. All he talks about is tragedy. But it's like, yeah, well, unfortunately, like there's a lot of tragedy in the world. There's a lot of people going through tragic things, and there needs to be music for those people to understand that other people go through these issues. Yeah. Even one of the greatest hip hop, if not the greatest hip hop artist ever now, is going through those issues. Yeah. Like, what is there not to respect about that in my mind? Yeah, is it the best album? No. Does it have the most replay value? No. But like, is it going to help a lot of people? Probably. Yeah. What's wrong with that? It's a therapy album.
Yeah. I wonder how many. There's probably a lot of people who say that Drake has helped them get to a hard time.
How? I mean, I guess music. Like, I'm sure. Yeah, you're having a bad day. You could listen to what song did we just hear when we were in Starbucks?
I don't know.
Whatever that one
Passion
song.
Fruit.
Yeah. I have a one time. But you know what I mean? Like, I guess I get it. All music is beneficial. Drake plays his part. Kendrick plays his part. But Kendrick is the better rapper. He's the better artist. I didn't like how Drake called Kendrick out for being a pop star because he did songs with Maroon 5 and Taylor Swift. Regardless of if those songs were like contract things, it's like, look, Kendrick, you got to do it. Yeah, you know what I mean? Fuck it. I get it. He has two or three like pop songs with pop artists out of his whole discography. Bro, Drake is a pop star. Every song is a pop star, or a pop song. I don't think you can call Kendrick out for at the peak of his career collabing with Maroon 5 and Taylor Swift. Like, he's just that artist now. He can do that kind of stuff. Yeah. He's co-signing these artists and like giving their fans the respect from the hip hop community by having him on these songs. But it's not like he's doing that every time. Jay-Z and Linkin Park. That's like one of the greatest songs ever, at least for the people that grew up in that era. Like, you
the whole album is fucking
fun. Exactly. And nobody cared. It's not like he made a whole album based off of it. You know what I mean? It's like, it's the greatest hip hop, or one of the greatest hip hop artists at that time, doing a song with another relevant artist in another genre. And it's just collaborative work. But Drake has focused his entire career around it. And I feel like in the last few years, he's been like, no,
Yeah.
I'm the better rapper. What are you talking about? Like,
I mean, he did a song with Bad Bunny.
but he wants the worldwide success. He wants the worldwide exposure.
And is that not different enough? I mean, like, Taylor Swift is this sort of like worldwide person. So is Maroon 5. They're like a world.
No, I get it. I just don't understand where. I feel like everybody's confused. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, is this really that big of a deal? I'm curious if Kendrick is going to acknowledge some of the drama that I've heard about Drake taking advantage of new artists, new sounds. Like, he'll find an upcoming artist that's popping off with like a different sound and then do a feature with them. And he wants to glorify it as like helping bring up artists, where in retrospect, he's just trying to steal their fans and trying to steal their sound and keep his sound relevant by copying what other people are doing. You know, like he'll bring in, I don't know who's another up and coming artist, but he'll use these artists who have incredible sounds, kind of copy their flow, get on their vibe, and then never work with that artist ever again and never talk to that artist ever again. But then he wants to claim like, I'm the one that brings up everybody and gets them their hit singles. But you weren't there to like coach them through their career after they like got this one hit single from you, and now they don't know where to go. So it's like, I'm curious if Kendrick's going to say that, where it's like, I've stood on my 2 feet with my own sound and my own like thought, where you have a whole team telling you who to collaborate with.
Yeah. As of right now, I don't think there's anyone on OVO that has blown up the way that another artist on a label with Kendrick has, like SZA.
Or I mean, just look at Baby Keem.
Even we have PG Lang. Baby Keem was PG Lang's first artist, and he already blew up.
Yeah, and I also feel like people need to stop. Drake needs to stop with like, I'm this hit maker. He is the hit maker. But Kendrick comes out of 5 years of not making music, decides to put all his effort into helping his cousin, gives his cousin a Grammy, gives his cousin all this glorification, and is completely putting on his cousin.
Yeah.
You know, he's prioritized helping his cousin out, become this artist. He's not just like, we did Family Ties and then disappeared. Yeah. That would be different. No, he hops on the whole album with them. Yeah. Does this like, I just feel like there's so many differences. I just feel like at the end of the day, people are going to side with Kendrick, I think. I think right now, since Drake has 2 songs out there, he's in the lead of this rap beef.
Do you ever think that this could ever dead someone? Do you think there's a chance that either Kendrick or Drake would be completely
like literally dead or like career dead?
Career dead.
No. I watched a podcast and they were talking about that. They're like, this isn't going to affect anybody's career. This is all for the fans. This is rap beef is not to kill somebody's career. I mean, in the case of like MGK and Eminem, different case.
Yeah.
But in this case, when we see Jay-Z and Nas going at it, and we see Kendrick Lamar and Drake going at it, it didn't fuck up Jay-Z or Nas's career after the beef. They both just went on doing their own thing after that. And this is going to be the same thing, I think. Like, people are just going to, like, people want to shame J. Cole for apologizing. It's just a matter of time before people forget it happened.
I think he's maybe the first casualty.
I think he is the first casualty, but I think Cole just went about it all wrong. I think I'm a huge J. Cole fan. I'm a bigger J. Cole fan than I am a Drake fan.
Yeah, same.
And I just feel like J. Cole's been moving in such a smooth and calculated way, and then he went about this so bad.
Yeah, and
he shouldn't have taken it off. He shouldn't have apologized. He manned up and he put it out there. He listened to it 1,000 times before it went live, and he decided to put it on his album. Terrible idea, but he decided to do it. Just own it at that point. Like, this isn't gonna end your career with Kendrick or anything. Like, we just want to see you guys push yourselves. We just want to hear. It's for the fans, bro. It's not for you guys. Like, we just want to see this shit go down, because we never have 2 hip hop titans go head to head.
Yeah, not
ever.
Anymore.
And I think that's why Kendrick did it. I think he was like, we need it. We need the shakeup. Hip hop needs this. Yeah. And then we got it. But it's not over yet. Kendrick's the GOAT. Drake's kind of ass. I don't really know. Like,
and on that note,
y'all better vote for Kendrick. No, you can vote for whoever you want.
We're gonna end it here because I can keep talking about this shit all day.
We always can.
But thank you guys for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, leave us a good review. It helps the podcast a lot. And thanks, dude. I appreciate you.
You're very welcome. I'll come back.
You,
You want me back? I'll come back. Give us topics to talk about.
I need to get more guests for real. Like it's, I like having guests. It takes a lot of the pressure off of me, and I think this is the first time that I'm maybe showing people a different side of me.
Well, that's what it is. The side of you that they can relate to.
Yeah, maybe.
The more you talk, the more they're like, I'm like Martin.
Yeah,
I want to be like Martin when I grow up.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Peace.